on the Cup side, it really landed right into who we anticipated winning it, especially after practice and qualifying, and that was the Daytona 500 winner, William Byron. He was absolutely on it. He's just one of those guys when he nails down laps, and he has that perfect race car underneath him. He's not somebody who tends to make those big time errors that'll cost you a win. Maybe early in his career he was that way, but once he's learned this, particularly this race car, I mean, he's the winningest guy in the next gen for a reason, and that really shows that he does not make those mistakes, and he knows how to nail restarts and have the strategy right, make the right moves behind the wheel, and root a fugle on the box, making the right calls. Once I knew that they had it, man, it was going to be tough to beat. And Christopher Bell definitely gave it his all. Ross Chastain gave it his all. Ty Gibbs was close again. A lot of compelling stories up front, but it was Byron for the third year in a row becoming the first multiple time winner in a season, which hasn't been done since a little guy named Jeff Gordon, also in that 24 car back in the 90s. So just another feather in his cap of him being a growing talent in the sport.
Yeah, William Byron, Mr. Next Gen, is on display. And you said it right there. Like, it's not just him as the driver, but it's this team as a whole. And the driver to crew chief pairing with Rudy Fugle, the history that they have with Byron rising in the ranks in NASCAR. I mean, it's on display every single weekend. And this team, they thrive on perfection. They don't make mistakes. This is as perfect of a weekend for this entire team from top to bottom as they've had in William Byron's 7-year career. 7-year career. I mean, think about that for a minute. Like, William Byron just still seems like this young kid, but has matured, and 7 years already. He's Cup Series, just absolutely insane to think about. Yeah. But in looking deeper at this race, we're going to give our moments from the weekend, and mine starts directly with William Byron during practice because, as I said, this team, absolute flawless. Steve Letarte called it exquisite this week, and it's true because Byron made a statement. I feel like, yes, we expected him to be really good. We expected him to be running up front, but I feel like he wasn't talked about as much as, the road course ringers of Reddick, the Toyotas, of Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, obviously, who were very, very strong. But I also want to bring Joe Gibbs Racing into this equation because to start the year, it's been all Hendrick and it's been all Joe Gibbs. In a next-gen era where it's been all about parity over the last couple of years, the top is the top. And Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing are miles away from virtually every other team so far this year. They've been winners of 5 of 6 this season. They've led nearly 2/3 total laps between the two organizations. And nearly every metric so far this year is topped by a JGR Toyota or a Hendrick Motorsports Chevy. Just the dominance that we are seeing from the top teams in NASCAR is apparent. We're going to continue to see it this weekend at Richmond, I believe. But in looking at Byron specifically, pretty impressive to be able to hold off a hard charge in Christopher Bell. You have more to say about Christopher Bell, which I'll toss it to you here in a minute. But look, these Toyotas were fast. Bell, I mean, the strategy that he has was just incredible. Ty Gibbs was a wheelman once again, run inside the top 3 all race. But again, from top to bottom for Byron, paced the field in practice, pulled it, leads 42 laps, near perfect driver rating. First one on the pole in his career, was 0 for 12 before this weekend. And as you mentioned, the first driver to score multiple wins for the 3rd consecutive season. And we call him Mr. Next Gen because of his 12 Cup Series wins, 8 of them have come in the last 40 races. So Byron won 5 races last year. Look, there's a very good chance he could potentially do it again because this team not only win, they could win anywhere. He's developed to a hell of a road course racer, winning at Watkins Glen last year and now following it up at COTA. And this team doesn't make mistakes. A flawless performance on this team's resume, and you have to love what you see out of William Byron. And again, out of these Toyotas, there's no contest right now, and it's going to be really tough to dethrone both of these organizations